I know it's very rare, but yep, today I'll be doing a Smackdown review. I know it's rare, and I know I rarely do them nowadays because WWE have kind of been on a bit of a bad terms with me at the moment. But I felt like this Smackdown episode was all right, and I think it's reviewable. I think it was a reviewable show. So here's my thoughts on SmackDown tonight. John Cena kicked off the show, doing his usual. Here's the thing, and I've now come to the conclusion with John Cena's heel turn, it's a failure. I think John Cena's heel run has been a complete failure because John Cena has done nothing to try and get the fans to hate him. And this is another reason why The Rock should have stayed out of the storyline between Cody Rhodes and John Cena, because John Cena is not getting booed. This is his final year as an active wrestler, and you can tell fans do not want to boo John Cena in his final year as a pro wrestler. You can tell the fans just do not want to hate him during his final year as a professional wrestler. Since this is the year he is retiring, you can just flat out tell that fans do not want to hate John Cena. So John Cena goes off on the fans as always, and he calls himself the Mount Rushmore. He says his name 4 times as a Mount Rushmore. He says no one compares to him. He says that everything that he has done has gone according to plan. He said if he failed the Royal Rumble, he knew he would be able to get a chance at the Elimination Chamber. He knew CM Punk and Seth Rollins' rivalry would help him win the Chamber. And he knew Cody would be too distracted with the final boss, and then he could take advantage. And he took advantage of Randy Orton by taking the fight to him in St. Louis. And he took advantage of R-Truth. And he says everything has been going according to plan, and he plans to remain world champion until he retires. And he even says that Seth Rollins will not cash in his briefcase on him because he plans to retire as the undisputed champion. Cody Rhodes then comes out, as so does Randy Orton. He eventually comes out, and Randy and Cody says his side of the story. Randy says his side, and Randy talks about how he's in the King of the Ring tournament, and he says how he loves Cody and he will do anything he can to get another shot at John Cena. And then LA Knight comes out, and LA Knight just gets in the face of Cody, Randy, and Cena. But then eventually Cena leaves after LA Knight said something about Cena. And then Cena eventually leaves and then is attacked by Ron the Truth Killings, R-Truth. So they're building up something there between R-Truth and John Cena. So I do like that R-Truth has gone from a goofy babyface to now a serious wrestler. Like, this is something I have been wanting to see from R-Truth for quite some time. I've been really wanting to see a more serious side of R-Truth for quite some time. This has been the biggest problem I've had with R-Truth. Yes, he can be funny from time to time. But I really wanted to see him finally get serious. There are times for him to be funny, and there are times for him to get serious. So Randy Orton wins his King of the Ring match to move on to the semi-finals. Randy Orton would go on to defeat Carmelo Hayes, LA Knight, and Aleister Black. This is the first time Randy Orton has shared the ring with Aleister Black, because we've never seen them wrestle each other, so that's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty cool, not gonna lie. And I would kind of like to see Randy and Alistair have some singles matches against each other. I think that would be pretty cool. So Randy wins. He moves on to the semi-finals. He pins LA Knight after he catches Carmelo Hayes in midair with an RKO. Also, Bron Breakker interfered in the match and cost LA Knight. So I guess that's payback from Raw. Because I think I remember seeing on Raw that LA Knight cost Bron Breakker. Jacob Fatu cuts a promo as he makes a direct threat to Solo Sikoa and JC Matteo. Really stupid name for Jeff Cobb, I'm not gonna lie. So, yeah, not really a whole lot to really say about that. Like, you guys know me, the Bloodline stuff is something I've been tired of for so long, and the fact that we're still doing it in the year 2025, just in the mid-card with Jacob Fatu, to me, it's just getting complete and utter boring now. I really don't care. And I know that they're planning on debuting another guy who used to be a part of the and I know they're planning on debuting another guy. Apparently, he had a dark match. They signed him, I think they signed him about a year ago, and they've done nothing with him since, so yeah, you can clearly tell they're getting ready to debut him at some point. Jade Cargill takes on Nia Jax, Piper Niven, and Michin in her Queen of the Ring first round match, and to really the surprise of nobody, Jade Cargill wins this one. She pins Piper Niven after a Jaded. And the reason why I say it's really no surprise is because Jade Cargill is reportedly planned for a pretty big push this year. So that's why I'm saying it's not a big surprise that she got the win. Naomi with Miss Money in the Bank. She comes out with her briefcase. I kind of wish they customized their briefcases. You know, Naomi's briefcase has caution tape on it. I mean, come on, they customized Tiffany's. They customized Tiffany's Money in the Bank contract. Why won't they do the same for Seth Rollins and Naomi? Like, you could give Naomi caution tape. You could have caution tape on Naomi's briefcase. But yet, they customized Tiffany's to make it more like a handbag. So silly how they customized Tiffany's, but they won't customize Naomi's. But Naomi comes out, she's talking about her Money in the Bank win, and then it's Tiffy time. She comes out, Tiffany comes out, says some things back to Naomi. Naomi tells Tiffany that she's coming for her, and she's going to make her life hell, and she plans on taking away her women's championship and threatens to cash in on her. But then, as Naomi leaves, Nia Jax, I guess she was still at ringside following her loss to Jade, she would attack Tiffany from behind. Like, see, this is the problem I have with the world champions with the women's division. There are two major problems I have with the women's world champions. Even though Tiffany and Io are both talented in their own way, and both wrestlers have a moonsault as their finishing move, which is the other thing that is actually hilarious, that both world champions' finishing moves are moonsaults, which I think the moonsault is starting to become another one of those overused moves that we see way too much of. But my biggest problem with them is that either they're doing nothing, and they're just in 10-second backstage segments with other women on the roster, like Io was with Nikki Bella, and how Tiffany Stratton has been in segments with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill. And now Naomi. But now they're putting her back in a rivalry with Nia Jax, where we've literally seen Tiffany wrestle Nia. She's been wrestling Nia for months now. I was shocked that Tiffany's feud with Charlotte was just a one and done. I figured Charlotte would have gotten another shot at Tiffany. But, again, it's so repetitive. It's the exact same people. Like, that's what it feels like to me. It feels like even if Triple H is like, right, we'll have our world champion wrestle, but she'll verse the exact same person she's been feuding with. Like, are they going to do the same thing with Io? Where they're going to have her just consistently wrestle Rhea? Like, to me, that gets very, very boring very, very quickly. To me, that gets very boring. So that's the biggest problem with their world champions. It's either they're just in backstage segments doing nothing, or they're constantly fighting the same person over and over and over again. No one wants to see Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax fight each other again. Why can't Tiffany wrestle somebody else? Why can't she wrestle somebody else? Seriously, you got so many other people on your roster that you could use. But no, we'll have the entire women's division in a Queen of the Ring tournament. I hate that they do Fatal 4-Ways for the tournaments. Like if you're gonna do a tournament, just do a standard one-on-one tournament with single brackets instead of Fatal 4-Ways and triple threats. I don't like what Triple H has done with the tournaments. I really don't like them. Because doing stuff like this just limits Tiffany's opponents. It limits who Tiffany can wrestle. Same thing with Io. It limits who they can wrestle because you're putting everybody in freaking tournaments. You're putting every single person in tournaments and then you're running out of people for them to fight. So, yeah. This segment was good, the segment was good. I do hope Naomi does cash in on Tiffany and ends her title reign. But man, I am so tired of seeing Nia constantly wrestle Tiffany. It's getting so boring. I don't care if they're best friends in real life. I genuinely do not care. Because I've heard people say they're really close friends. Like, I literally don't care. I don't care if they're best friends. Just because they're best friends doesn't mean that it's okay for them to constantly wrestle each other. As a viewer, I couldn't care less if they're friends. As a viewer, I want to see Tiffany Stratton wrestle with other women on the roster. I want to see her be a fighting champion and actually defend her title against other people on the frickin' roster instead of the exact same person. Anyway, moving on. Wyatt 6 take on Motor City Machine Guns. I gotta be honest, I'm not a fan of this. Look, I know people like the Wyatt 6, and I know people like the Wyatt 6, and I know people are happy to see the Wyatt 6 back, but honestly, I really do not want to see these guys as tag team champions. I don't want to see them dethrone the Street Profits. I really don't. Joe Gacy, hell of a performer. I liked his work in NXT. I wish he still had the same character that he had in NXT. I really liked his character in NXT. And especially the one he had in early NXT 2.0. Like, I really like Joe Gacy. It's a shame that he's resorted to this. Dexter Lumis, I'm a bit meh on him, honestly. I'm a bit meh on Dexter Lumis. I only really liked him when he was in the Indy Hartwell storyline. But, yeah, I just do not care. I just don't care enough. And, man, Motor City Machine Guns came in with all this hype, all this major hype, and now they're losing. And now they're losing all the time. So much for making them the centerpiece of the tag team division, like what many reporters claimed that the Motor City Machine Guns were going to be the centerpiece of the tag team division. They don't feel like the centerpiece of the tag team division anymore. At least that's how I see it. John Cena would come back out and he would call out R-Truth. He would call out R-Truth because he wants to have a fight with him, which John Cena got pissed off at Nick Aldis backstage because of R-Truth's attack. And John Cena would come out and he would call out R-Truth. He would call R-Truth out, but then CM Punk would come out and tell him the truth. Gives John Cena the truth. And says what he has to say. CM Punk says what he says. And then R-Truth, or Ron the Truth Killings, I should say, comes from behind and attacks John Cena again and puts him in the STF. And so Nick Aldis is obviously upset with Ron the Truth Killings' attack, And R-Truth says he wants to have a match with John Cena next week, and Nick Aldis makes it official. So we're going to be seeing John Cena wrestle on live TV for the first time this year. That's actually crazy. It's actually crazy to believe that we'll be seeing John Cena wrestle on live TV. Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Candice LeRae, and Alba Fire, because they replaced Chelsea for Alba Fire, in a fatal 4-way. Man, I hate this for Alba Fire, man. I hate this for Alba Fire. I know I was craving for her to be on TV. I know we were craving for her to be on TV, but did anyone really want her to be a part of Chelsea's cabinet, or whatever the bloody hell they call their faction? The Secret Service, whatever the bloody hell they call their faction? Like, was this what people wanted Alba Fire to do? When we said we wanted her on TV, we didn't say put her with Chelsea Green. When we said we want her on TV, we mean keep her character as it was and give her something meaningful to do. Like, seriously, I cannot, I love Alba Fire. I do, but I can't take her seriously. I cannot take her seriously wrestling in a suit. She's wrestling in a suit like Piper does. I can't take them seriously dressing the way they do. I know we wanted Alba Fire on TV, but this isn't what we had in mind. This isn't what we wanted with Alba Fire. She deserves so much better than this, and it's a real darn shame. It's a real damn shame. Like, I'm just not a fan of this at all. I just do not like what they're doing with Alba Fire. Candice LeRae, apparently she got new music. I don't know what it is. I haven't heard it. But apparently she got new music. But the thing is, Alba Fire and Candice LeRae, we knew they had no chance of winning. Like, the whole focus was on Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Like, we knew one of these two were gonna win. We knew one of these two were the obvious winners. And I think a lot of people were obviously expecting Charlotte to win. Because, you know, oh, she's a Flair. If Charlotte wins, you know, the internet have to have a cry because, oh, can't have Charlotte win because if Charlotte wins, it's predictable and all that stuff. So, to my surprise, they have Alexa Bliss win. The matchup itself was alright. I didn't hate it. All four of them are really talented wrestlers. All four of them are incredibly talented in their own way, so of course the match, it's going to be good. So Charlotte had the figure 8 on Alba Fire, but then Alexa hit the Abigail DDT, and pinned Candice LeRae, and Alba Fire tapped as soon as after the bell rang. So, in theory, people are going to look at this and be like, oh, so there you go, they protected Charlotte in the loss, despite the fact that she didn't get pinned. You know, this may sound surprising, but I was fine with this. I was fine with Alexa winning. Because, again, if Charlotte wins, I know what would have happened. I know if Charlotte won, I know what would have happened. You know, the people would have had a meltdown, the social media would have had a meltdown, because that's what happens when Charlotte wins. Everyone has a meltdown because Charlotte Flair wins and she gets special treatment, she wins because of her last name, yada yada yada. So, if she wins at all, you know people are going to have a meltdown. And speaking of Charlotte not winning and actually losing, I cannot believe I saw this from a friend of mine who showed me this. And I was left blown away, shocked, dumbstruck. My mind was so blown that I cannot understand, and I'm definitely confused, and more importantly, convinced that the fans have no idea what the hell they want anymore. So, a friend of mine showed me a tweet that some fan was not happy that Charlotte Flair lost or because she's been on a losing streak as of late, there have been some fans, not a lot of fans, but some fans seem to be upset that she's going on a losing streak. And I'm thinking to myself, hang on. And this is what I said to myself. I'm like, for years, people have been begging for Charlotte Flair to go on a losing streak, spend less time out of the title picture, focus on other feuds, and more importantly, put other talent over. Yeah, sure, Charlotte didn't get pinned in this Fatal 4-Way, but she's been losing quite a fair bit as of late. She lost a triple threat qualifier to Julia when Julia pinned Zelina Vega. She lost this Fatal 4-Way. Charlotte put over Tiffany Stratton clean at WrestleMania. And for some bizarre reason, now I'm seeing people upset that Charlotte Flair is losing. What kind of world are we living in? What kind of world are we living in? Like, I thought this is what we wanted. I thought this is what people wanted. I thought this is what people have been craving for. Charlotte Flair losing. This is what people have been craving for. And the fact that I am seeing few people, not a lot of people, but a few people, actually being upset that Charlotte is on a losing streak, it blows my mind. It blows my mind. I'm just like, I thought this is what people wanted. I thought people wanted to see Charlotte lose because, oh, we're all so sick and tired of Charlotte Flair being overpushed. She's a Flair, her last name is Flair, and of course she's always gonna win. You know, Charlotte wins LOL bullshit. I am so confused. I am so confused. I cannot believe I'm legitimately seeing this. I cannot believe this is something I am seeing. This is what people have been craving for decades. People have been craving this for decades, and now that she's actually starting to give back and put over other people. Yes, I know she didn't lose. Yes, I know she wasn't pinned in these matches, but it's still a loss. There's still losses. But the fact that she's losing matches, even though she isn't being pinned in any of them, it's still crazy to me that I'm seeing people upset that she's losing. It blows my mind, man. It legitimately blows my mind. I'm at the point where I feel like fans don't know what they want anymore. They've been craving for Charlotte Flair for years to start losing, go on a losing streak and elevate other people. And now that she's actually doing the thing that fans have been wanting her to do for years, now all of a sudden it's bad that she's losing. I don't understand that. It's so bizarre to me. This is Bizarro World. And this is why I don't take social media seriously. And this is why I don't take the social media platform all that seriously. Because they say they want something, but as soon as it happens, they start complaining. So, yeah. It seems like we might be getting Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair at Evolution. Even though it was reported we'll be getting Jade Cargill and Charlotte Flair at Evolution. So, I don't know, man. Alexa winning was a bit of a surprise, but it was either going to be Alexa or Charlotte that was going to win this. So it probably means Alexa Bliss will possibly face either Asuka or Stephanie Vaquer in the semifinals. So I'm very curious where that's going to lead. Main event is Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest, Andrade, and Shinsuke Nakamura in the King of the Rings here. Cody Rhodes wins. No shocker, right? No shocker. Cody Rhodes wins. He pins Shinsuke Nakamura. Is Shinsuke Nakamura going to be leaving the company soon? Because, man, oh man, they are having him lose consistently. Man, I feel so bad for Shinsuke. Man, I remember back in 2018 when I saw Shinsuke Nakamura's debut match at NXT TakeOver. I forgot the name of it. I think it was called San Antonio. I can't remember the one. It was the one he fought Sami Zayn in. I remember seeing Shinsuke's debut against Sami Zayn and how much I was so impressed with Shinsuke Nakamura, and I instantly became a fan of this guy, and I believed this guy was going to be a star. While, yes, he became NXT champion twice, IC champion twice, US champion 3 times, tag team champion once. I remember he was tag team champion with Cesaro. I don't think he ever won the tag team titles again after the Cesaro pairing, but I know he's won quite a fair amount. Even the Royal Rumble, he won the Royal Rumble. I know he won fair amount of stuff. He won quite a fair amount of stuff. Even the 2018 Royal Rumble. Actually no, he debuted in 2017, not 2018. My mistake. But yeah, yes, he's won many championships, but the fact that he's still not a world champion is actually mind-blowing to me. But, I don't know if, I'm kind of thinking maybe Shinsuke should be on his way out of the company at this point, because I don't really know why he's still consistently losing. But, he's peaked. Poor old Shinsuke, he has really hit his peak, he's really hit his ceiling, and it's a darn shame. It's a darn shame. They went through all the effort to repackage him. They went through the effort to repackage him, give him a new character, and then all of a sudden he wins the US title from LA Knight, doesn't defend it for months, drops it back to LA Knight, and all that hard work for Shinsuke's new character had been completely dropped down the drain. So, yeah, can't really say Shinsuke's new character has really gone well for most fans. And yeah, it also hurt, and it also makes it worse that Cody Rhodes pinned him. Like, they couldn't just had Andrade do it. Whatever. It kind of makes me think Shinsuke's on his way out, and honestly, if he is on his way out of WWE, then I think it's good for him, because he's just doing nothing. And here's the thing, unlike the Women's Queen of the Ring, even though it felt like it was obvious that Charlotte and Jade were going to be in the finals, but because Alexa won, it now kind of makes things less predictable. But I'm kind of thinking it's going to be Alexa and Jade Cargill in the finals now. It's kind of concerning me that Alexa and Jade are going to be the finals. The Men's King of the Ring, flat out predictable. Flat out predictable finals. We all know it's going to be Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton in the finals. And we all know Cody Rhodes is going to win. So 2 years in a row, Randy Orton is going to come close to winning the King of the Ring, and he's going to lose. Last year, he lost to Gunther, and now this year, he's going to lose to Cody. So basically, Randy's going to go back-to-back years being the runner-up of the King of the Ring. And I personally feel very, very offended by Triple H doing that. But, it was as soon as I saw Cody Rhodes in the King of the Ring graphic, I was like, yeah, Cody Rhodes will be King of the Ring in 2025. He will fight John Cena at SummerSlam for the WWE title. So, those are my thoughts on SmackDown. Hope you guys liked it. See you all next time.